What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Humble Orange. Today we're going to talk about this book, The Alchemist. This book is my favorite book. Sort of. Not really, but kind of. I kind of have like a top three, so it's kind of like a battle between the three as to who's better all the time. I don't really know who's better, but I've read this one the most. So for now, let's just say it's my favorite book. And I want to share with you guys the things I loved about it, the things that touched me about it, and the lessons I learned from it. So just to kick it off, like my video on purpose, go back and watch it. If you have not watched it, I refer to this book a lot because it's a book about following your destiny, right? The main character's name is Santiago, and his goal is to find his treasure because he has a dream about it. And while he's on this journey, he finds out all this information about destiny, about what it means to go after what you want in life, right? About following the thing that you're meant to do. And he learns multiple lessons along the way. The first one is that when you're following your destiny, the universe will help you along the way. So I kind of agree with this. When you're doing the wrong thing, you kind of notice that things go wrong all the time, and not just setbacks, but things make you feel like it just may not be right. And there may be something else. And there's a small tug as to there might be this other thing I should be doing. So the world, the universe, will kind of tell you that you're not meant to be doing what you're doing if you're not in the right space. And whether that's through lots of amounts of pain to push you out into the thing you're meant to be doing, or whether that's through adversity, or just an aha moment that, wait, there's something I love more, or that I'm meant to be doing something like this, but adjacent to it, right? It could be anything. That's the first big lesson I got from this, is that when you're aspiring to achieve your goals and you're really going at it, as Les Brown says, to people who are following their dreams, life has a special kind of meaning. How things kind of work for you and things kind of work with you to get what you want, right? So as you're doing this. The second thing is, he talks about omens a lot and healing omens, things that happen around you, right? So I'm not a very superstitious person, but I think there's some merit to this, like serendipity, right? When you're doing what you want to do, you kind of notice that something lucky just happens. An opportunity comes when it's meant to, come. It's happened to me before. An opportunity comes right when it feels like it's meant to come. Whether that's when you want to give up and then something happens, or that's when you are in the space of working and you're feeling a little like, is this going somewhere? And the spark happens. Something shows up to show you're on the right path and you need to keep going. So that's how it phase the omens that they speak about. Other thing, mentorship, which is I think a thing that most people wouldn't get out of this book. First, the boy Santiago talks about his father. And his father was a mentor who taught him things he needed to learn up to a certain point, but held him back when he had to leave. But at the end, when he wanted to leave his village, his small village, and explore as a shepherd, his father supported him because he knew that that's what he would also wished he had done. Next, he meets the king, right? Melchizedek, the king of Salem, tells him about a story about, how to achieve happiness, and then tells him about how he should go for his destiny, and then how to find his treasure, where to go find it and everything, and a few other things along the way. So Melchizedek isn't with him for very long, but Melchizedek does help him out in the beginning of his journey to have faith in the process, to have faith in what he's doing. Next, he meets the crystal merchant who he works for. And the crystal merchant, he learns about how crystal works. He learns that when you clean crystal, you kind of clean your soul a little bit. And he learns about these things. He learns that the crystal has a soul, but he learns more about how everything speaks to you, and that the soul of the world is in the crystal, and that he can also communicate with it, right? And how to follow those omens even further. But he also learned the biggest lesson from the crystal merchant that he learns, and that I learned too, was that most people don't go after their dreams. The crystal merchant had a dream to embark on a pilgrimage, and he had to embark on this pilgrimage, but he hadn't gone, and he kept dreaming about it. And the boy tried to convince him to go, but he realized that no, the dream is what keeps him alive, and he'd rather dream about it than go, because people are scared to go for what they want. And he had learned that he didn't want to be like the crystal merchant. And then finally he meets the alchemist, his final mentor. And while he was with the Alchemist teaches him a varying amount of things, from listening to his heart, to finding life in the desert, to trusting the omens and trusting the world. Right? He teaches him many, many different things. And the Alchemist just raises him, teaches him how to look into his own heart, how to communicate with his heart. And the Alchemist is the best mentor he has throughout this whole book. Or is he? The last mentor he has is the world. The boy is so aware of the world that instead of reading, he just experiences and learns from stories from people, learns from the desert as he travels. He learns from what the world can teach him. And he travels with an Englishman who wants to be an alchemist, but the boy ends up being essentially an alchemist before his friend does, because he listened to the world. Not just to other people who had written, but he was responsive to the soul of the world. And these are some of the major lessons I got from it. One more that really stuck out for me was a specific line that hit me so hard that up to this day, since my second reading of it, at some point last year, I'm still completely enamored by it. Whenever I think about this line, it kind of creates a path for how I view this particular topic, which is love. So the boy has to leave his woman in the desert, in the oasis, and he has to say goodbye to her to follow his dream. And he says to himself, I tried to think about the idea of love as separate from possession, and I could not do it. When I began to understand this, I thought about it, that most of us look at love as ownership. You're mine, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, you're my husband, you're my wife. Nah, they belong to God, they belong to the world, they belong to themselves. They don't belong to you. And when I saw this, that he began to realize that love and ownership are not the same thing, but most of us really in truth when we talk about love, we talk about ownership. We talk about someone being mine, right? And that scares most people. It's a big thing. When I've ever talked to anybody about open relationships or polyamory and such, people get so scared by the idea of not owning the person. Isn't that interesting? And so this book really showed me that quite well, that people do want to have ownership over the people that they love. Rightly so to a degree, but makes you question things, doesn't it? And this book, for me, during times when things felt like they weren't clear, it helped me focus on my dream. It helped me focus on my goal, that no matter what came, the most important thing was always my goal. It was always what I wanted. It was always the thing, that North Star that I was going after, that I had a destiny that I want to achieve. And it's kept me on track the whole time. That's what I learned from this. That's what touched me so much about it, is that you get so absorbed by realizing that if he can go after his dream with all this problems and pain, why can't you? So guys, I hope you enjoy our little book review. It's something new, something we're doing. It's going to keep coming at you guys. 2 reasons. 1, I read a lot of books and I want to share it with you guys. 2, I'm going to have to keep reading more books, so I have new books to share with you guys. Therefore, I'm under obligation right now to read more books. Otherwise, I'm screwed and I have no new content for you for the book reviews. You see how that works for everybody? So, guys, we're going to come at you with these book reviews every week. Let's do this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys take a read at this book. It is amazing, and it's definitely a worthwhile read. Have a wonderful day.